this is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.
In the squadron, they called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
How about President Trump once again being investigated by the FBI? Well, looks like actually we're finally investigating the investigators. But our friends at Just the News, this is these numbers are staggering. Trump targeted by 4 FBI code-named counter-intel probes that ensnared hundreds of Americans. John Solomon, the rock star, President Donald Trump and his supporters were targeted by 4 consecutive FBI code-named counterintelligence investigations over the last decade that secretly subjected hundreds of innocent Americans to privacy-invading tactics and essentially treated the man twice elected president as a national security threat for most of the first 9 years of his political career. That really is amazing. You know, I recently had a talk with the FBI about something. I don't want to tell you what it is, and maybe I'll be able to tell you someday. But after I had that phone call, I realized, you know, there really is something weird about this organization. Federal Bureau of Investigation. Why are we so fond of it? I don't like any of those things. FBI, Federal Bureau Investigation. I like investigations. I like our country, but do I like bureaus? Federal? It's almost like we are inefficient and corrupt. FBI. Like, why would I ever look to such an organization? And you'll notice that throughout history, some calamity happens. Assassination of John F. Kennedy, September 11th, you name it. The FBI had some word about it. They were on their way to investigate. They had opened something, but found nothing. They're always, and that was what I got from my engagement with the FBI. They took in information, took it all in, and did nothing. And then they'll tell you why they're doing nothing and why you should be happy that they're doing nothing. It was quite the moment, quite the eye-opener. And I was frustrated. But then again, you know, the president of the United States, not just President Trump, but other presidents have called the FBI, asked them to do something as is like allowed. It's law enforcement. He is the chief law enforcement officer in America. He's allowed to ask for that. He's allowed to do things as the president. They always say the president is the most powerful person in the world. But if you look carefully, they're always saying, how dare he call the FBI director and say something? How dare he call the attorney general and say something? How dare he call a U.S. attorney in Manhattan and say something? Why wouldn't he say something? You see how they have it all? They have it all rigged. They have all these crazy statutes and a million different ways to get into trouble. And by the way, when it comes to whistleblowers, I love whistleblowers, but I wish one of you guys would blow the whistle before the fact, not after the fact. I mean, maybe you got to watch. I don't know. Maybe something bad has got to happen. The FBI Director Kash Patel has personally led the effort to review the operations codenamed Crossfire Hurricane, Round River, Plasmic Echo, and Arctic Frost that stretched from summer of 2016 to January of 2025, uncovering evidence of a far-reaching dragnet that in some cases may have been predicated on false, misleading, or uncorroborated justifications. Many of the investigative files were hidden from view, even from most FBI agents, because they were marked prohibited access and controlled carefully by FBI leadership. You basically had the FBI running opposition research and waging mischief on Republicans. And worse than mischief, criminal indictments and the rest. Patel's search has been aided by whistleblowers inside the agency. There we go again. Chuck Grassley on the outside. The FBI's expanded counterterrorism and counterintelligence missions after September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks eventually became hijacked by politics and led agents to deploy tools meant for terrorists and spies against everyday Americans in a bid to find a way to bring criminal cases against Trump. One whistleblower this month told the FBI that surveillance and monitoring of Trump figures continued right up until the president's January 2025 inauguration. And this is where the fake news comes in. You know, the fake news, they're so kind of relentless in portraying President Trump as a monster, right? That this starts to wear off on people. They start to believe it. They start to, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, we got a problem with this guy. Hey, do me a favor, if you don't mind. This is President Trump speaking about the ships sunk so far by the U.S. Navy, the ships of the Iranian Navy sunk by the U.S. Navy. Go ahead, pretty please.
Iran's drone and missile capability is being utterly demolished. The Navy is gone. It's all lying at the bottom of the ocean. 46 ships. Can you believe it? In fact, I got a little upset with our people. I said, what quality of ship? Excellent, sir. Top of the line. I said, why did we just capture the ship? We could have used it. Why did we sink them? They said, it's more fun to sink them. I said, they like sinking them better. They say it's safer to sink them. I guess it's probably true. But think of it. We knocked out 46, and actually took 3.5 days. Their terrorist leaders are gone. We're counting down the minutes until they will be gone. Think of it. We had leaders, and they're gone. Then we had new leaders, and they're gone. And now nobody has any idea who the people are that are going to be the head of the country. And
how about that? More fun to sink them. More dangerous to go on, and actually more labor intensive. You got to bring the troops on. You got to raid them. It is a big pain in the neck. And actually, that reminds me, you never think about this, but you know, you have 3,000 people on a cruise ship. What are you going to have? You're going to have crime. You're going to have drunkenness. You're going to have people stealing things from each other. You're going to have people committing sexual assault. It happens. It's like a little city floating. And now what the hell happens? What applies out there? If you're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and you break the law, or somebody breaks the law, what happens? Well, it's not American law. It's not even international law. It's something called maritime law kicks in. And here they have a situation. It's pretty interesting. Someone takes it and they think this is going to be exculpatory. It's going to exonerate. It doesn't. It implicates the alleged criminals. They were accused of stealing stuff on the ship. And then the captain comes down. He looks like Captain Steubing, quite frankly, from the Love Boat. He's got all the, it's got the shirt with the things on his shoulder. He comes down and he talks to them, and he's not having any of it. He's ready to throw them in the brig. They have a little thing on the ship, a brig, a little mini prison. Go ahead with that if you don't mind, please. The little mini prison, the captain talking to the passenger.
Hello.
Hello. I'm back again.
Yes, how are you?
Hello.
Did you collect what you wanted?
No. So I've
One second. I would like to talk to yourself.
Well, actually, she's the best one to talk to.
I'm talking to you.
Go ahead.
Not
I've
you.
been in the room for 3 hours.
You are currently under the confinement protocols of this company and the vessel. Okay, so the
Right.
reason why we brought you here is because we're trying to be nice, we're trying to be friendly, and we want you to be comfortable, right? So we've allowed you to come here and pick a set of clothing for you to bring down to the
But why are
confinement.
y'all detaining me?
Why? That's been explained already.
I want you to re-explain it
I'm not
on
going to
the
explain
camera.
it again. It's already been explained.
No, I have a lawyer that's already told me.
That's fine.
But we have no proof that it was said.
Yeah,
I
without
would
proof,
like you.
But her body camera was on.
without proof, she cannot be
Please do me a favor
detained.
and step back inside. I'm not here to talk to you. What I would like you to do is please do what you brought you here for.
But you
okay?
cannot detain her without a lawyer.
If you do not listen to me,
There's no proof. You will not show proof.
if you do not want to collect some belongings, we'll take you straight back down right now.
But you will not show
You have a
proof.
choice.
She did not say that, and you will
have a
not
choice.
show
Okay,
proof.
let's go. We'll take you. If you don't want
Oh,
to pick anything up,
no.
ma'am, please take your hands off.
No. You will not show proof. My lawyer said
me
that you
explain
have
to
to
you.
show proof to
Let me
detain her.
explain to you.
She did not say that.
We are
She did not say that.
company protocols.
That's cool,
You
but she
intervene
didn't
and get
say
in the way,
that.
we will
She
have
didn't
to
say that.
intervene as well.
You've detained
Step
her for
aside,
4
please.
hours.
Step aside.
Okay, but I need clothes.
Step aside.
I like this captain.
Please step aside.
Company protocol, you do have to provide.
Company protocol, you have to provide proof. Show us the
Excuse
proof.
me.
Please get your clothes.
Show us the proof where she said
Miss
that.
Amy was beside me with her body camera.
Go and get your clothes, madam. Thank you very much.
So we would love to see the proof. Yeah, we want the proof. My lawyer said that you have to provide. Oh yes, sir. My lawyer said you had to provide proof To detain her, you have to provide proof for reason. Oh, the lawyer he will be
The
here.
medical have already explained the protocols. To
Stop for a second. I think that's true on the captain's part. You can't be dicking around with these passengers and providing proof and all that stuff. I think because they got to drive the ship. They got to be able to make a decision and then get the hell back up to the bridge. They got to mind. That's why maritime law is a bit more authoritarian in a way. All right. That's one of the many reasons why I don't go on cruises. I don't want to go on a cruise. All those strangers on the boat drinking and stuff like that. I want nothing to do with it. Is it Carlos? You ever been on a cruise? No.
No, I don't want to be trapped somewhere I can't leave.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a dangerous little situation. Oh boy. Everybody on the left. You know why? Because I tagged James Tallarico. James Tallarico, the weirdo. This guy is going down in flames fast. James Tallarico. There's something very, very just off about him, and now everybody's seeing it for real, in real time. I got some more highlights from this dude. We'll get to that in a second. In the meantime, Scott Bessent. Now, there are people I know and like who say, Scott Bessent, the first thing they think of, Scott Bessent is gay. It's really neither here nor there. I've noticed that he doesn't bring it up unless he's asked about it. All right, so I'm not bringing it up. I'm not going to ask him about it. And if you don't ask him about it, it doesn't come up. It's not like, with Pete Buttigieg, that was the whole narrative. Here is Scott Bessent on the fake news. You know how they love to say, there's no evidence of that. There's no evidence of that. There's no evidence of voter fraud. Well, there was no investigation of voter fraud. All right. We got to have investigations. All right. Go ahead, please, if you don't mind. Scott.
I want to ask you about this massive fraud out in Minnesota in the state welfare program. Has been under federal investigation since all the way back in 2022. The president told you, though, this week to look into Somalis who, quote, ripped off that state for billions of dollars. He said they contribute nothing. What exactly are you investigating?
Well, Margaret, to be clear, the initial fraud that was discovered by the IRS, for which I'm the acting commissioner, is discovered by IRS Criminal Investigations Unit. This was not an endogenous thing that the state of Minnesota decided we had to go in and clean up the mess for them, and this is part of the continued cleanup. A lot of money has been transferred from the individuals who committed this fraud, including those who donated to the governor, donated to Representative Omar, and donated to A.G. Ellison. But they've been transferred to something called MBSs. And those are...
Mortgage-backed security? What do you mean?
Sorry?
Transferred to what?
These are money the Bureau services, and they are wire transfer organizations that are outside the regulated banking system. And that money has gone overseas. And we are tracking that both to the Middle East and to Somalia to see what the uses of that have been. Okay. But you have no evidence of that money being used to fuel terrorism at this point, which is what some conservative writers are alleging. That's why it's an investigation. We started it last week. We'll see where it goes. But I can tell you that, it's terrible. Representative Omar tried to downplay it, said, it was very...
We love this guy. 800-8489-222. 800-8489-222. I want to go right now live to the White House, if you don't mind. Caroline Leavitt, let's see if we can get her opening statement, please. Go ahead.
Navy hasn't helped just yet, but maybe that tanker got
here we go.
Some other help. We don't know.
That's
gas prices.
John Roberts, who is quite the airhead, by the way. Quite the airhead. There's a bit of a delay. It's okay.
Current price of gas, AAA average, 4 cents. Yesterday it was.
Where the hell's Caroline? I'm looking at her right here. I don't want to hear John Roberts anymore. I know there's a delay, but it can't be that late. All right, put John on hold. He's a Trump hater too. Lois, hello. How are you?
Hi, dear. I want to ask a couple of questions. First of all, I don't think you should worry about the Republican candidates for Texas, because this other guy's a complete blither.
I know.
He let his hand down right away.
Yeah.
You can't compare him even to the other guy. The other guy, he was more sneaky as his whereabouts and who he believes and what he believes.
Who's more sneaky?
The one that he just had. What's his name?
Yeah, Tallarico. Right. We don't have to worry about him. Oh, Buttigieg. All right. So what's your point?
My point is, why is he letting all this out so early in the game? Why aren't they trying to fake the Republicans as usual, like everybody else is trying?
Why are we letting this out so early in the game? You mean the dirt we have on Tallarico?
No, I think we should do that. I'm saying, but he's telling all his quiet secrets already. I'm surprised. That's kind of foolish on his part, don't you think?
Whose part? What are you talking about?
Tallarico's part.
This is not secretive. He's saying it out loud. He's saying it at the podcast. This is who he is. This is a part of why he became the nominee. They like this crap. You understand?
Where people are sick of this crap.
Well, yeah, I that's right. I don't think it's going to work in Texas. I really don't. All right. I think we're ready now to go to the White House, right? Shall we? Pump up the volume. Pump up. Thanks, Lewis. Pump up the volume.
While the Iranian terrorist regime's ability to respond has rapidly declined. Now, the U.S. military is moving to dismantle Iran's missile production infrastructure. Our incredible B-2 bombers recently dropped dozens of 2,000-pound penetrator bombs on deeply buried missile sites. Last night, President Trump reiterated his commitment toward keeping oil flowing through the Strait of Hormuz so the United States and all of our allies can receive their energy needs. President Trump will not allow rogue Iranian terrorists to stop the freedom of navigation and the free flow of energy. Let me be clear. It is a good thing to wipe out terrorists who indiscriminately target civilians and attempt to hold the global economy hostage. And President Trump should be commended for doing so. As the president made unequivocally clear to the remaining elements of this terrorist regime in his statement yesterday, if they do anything to stop the flow of oil or goods within the Strait of Hormuz, they will be hit by the world's most powerful military 20 times harder than they have been hit thus far. Moving forward, the stated objectives for Operation Epic Fury remain the same. Destroy the terrorist regime's ballistic missiles, raise their Iranian missile industry to the ground, ensure their terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region, and ensure that Iran never obtains a nuclear weapon. President Trump remains confident these goals will be accomplished in swift fashion. As for the oil, President Trump fully expected the rogue Iranian regime to try and disrupt the global markets. That's why President Trump and his energy team have been planning for this long before the strike and have moved quickly to address these temporary disruptions.
All right. Very clear, very concise. Missiles, no proxies, never nuclear, straightforward. And icing on the cake, a la mode style ice cream, regime change. We'll be right back.
Greg Kelly
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
You know, folks are trying to create division in MAGA about the war in Iran. I don't see that happening. I see a lot of wishful thinking on the left that MAGA is at war with itself, that President Trump promised no forever wars. Well, this is not a forever war. So far, it's a 10-day war. He made it quite clear last night that we could probably get out probably anytime after today. Today is the biggest strike, and we are hitting their mountains hard. Some of these mountains, you know, they have like missile storage centers underneath the mountain and silos and that kind of thing. So that's what we're hitting today. And then after, I'd say, the weekend, we're done.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Garrett.
Kellen, you outlined to Steve the military components of what would be involved in ending this war, but it seems like there's a political component too. The president said to Fox earlier today that he doesn't believe the new Ayatollah can live in peace. He made a variety of comments suggesting that he should be involved in picking the new Iranian leader. Is the ending of this war also contingent on Iran selecting a leader that the president finds acceptable? And if so, how is that not the definition of a regime change war?
Look, as President Trump has blatantly and frankly stated, it's obviously within the best interest of the United States and the West to no longer have a radical terrorist in charge of Iran, especially as we see their reaction to Operation Epic Fury. They had their missiles turned towards our Gulf and Arab partners in the region. Again, this was a regime that chanted, or still chants, death to America.
Blaine Holt joins us. And Blaine, you know, the media, half the time, it's strange. They're just exasperated that President Trump would talk forthrightly with them. And then they take that forthright conversation and try to use it against him. Like, how dare he say something like that? It's just this statement of truth and reasonable and common sense, and then they take it and they try to use it against him. It's, I guess I can't blame them. That's what they do. How are you?
I'm doing great. No, they're not doing any pioneering work. This is not something new. But when the president was negotiating with Iran for the past year, they could have had their regime in place. They could have kept the regime. They just had to agree to some things that were going to ensure world safety. What I don't like is you've got members of the press now who are trying to defend a regime that if they're left in place, they're going to become an existential threat to Western civilization for generations. So you guys need to do a little deeper thinking. And once the missiles fly, all bets are off. The head of the snake has been nearly cut off. It's got to be cut off.
It's something else about the media being upset by what is said. They have no real expertise like you do in the region and in the military and that kind of thing. But they can talk about messaging and pick apart what people say. And that's why so much of it is about, well, the president said this, and then he said that, and then he said this, and then he said that, because that, like, it's quite frankly a higher version of high school. Like, oh my God, somebody said this about you in the cafeteria. It's right. There's no expertise required for that kind of stuff. So what is your sense? And by the way, everybody, Blaine Holt called almost exactly when this war was going to start, 2 Fridays ago. You nailed it. You totally nailed it, right down to the hour, essentially. When I don't know how you figured it out, but you figured it out. It had something to do with the moon, everybody. When do you think it's going to end?
Well, probably the president wanted to have a goal of about 5 to 6 weeks. I think the large pole in the tent on determining what that looks like is, one, the Iranian people rising up and starting to take back their own power and needing our assistance, but not at the levels that you see it in the region now. 2, there's still a lot going on in the Straits of Hormuz, and it's not necessarily an Iranian issue, although the mainstream media wants it to be. The Straits of Hormuz getting closed is an unacceptable situation. Our problem is with the UK and Lloyd's of London. It's not with the Iranians. The other part is we've got to probably do something about making sure that oil infrastructure does not get sabotaged or blown up in Iran and Karj Island and keep those straits moving. Those are the last parts of this, but those are pretty rapid moving parts. I don't see, thousands upon thousands of troops on the ground, although troops on the ground is a whistle call or dog whistle for, the mainstream press. It's like, I saw a boot on the ground. It's like, well, there might be 7 boots on the ground. Now what are you going to do? Anyway, it's going to go on time, I think, probably 6, 7, 8 weeks, whatever it takes. But we're going to get to a place called victory as we have defined it, no matter what.
All right. Now, there's this very intriguing guy online, and he put a picture of Khamenei up. Khamenei is the new Ayatollah, the son of the other Ayatollah. So Iran has a supreme leader to replace the dead one. Congratulations to Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei. Hope he enjoys the 3 or 4 hours he has left in office. Kaboom! That was my Twitter, by the way. What happens to him? Is it important that we get him? Can we deal with this guy? What do you think?
Well, no. This regime can't stay in place. The Islamic Republic of Iran is no more. It now needs to go back to the majority of Iranians, which is Zoroastrians, Christians, Buddhists. It's a multi-pluralistic society, and the Persians are rich with engineering. They'll come back into the world commons, but not with some of the bloodthirstiest terrorists ever to walk the planet. Where I think we should examine Mojtaba is, again, back up at the UK. This guy has over $140 million worth of luxury real estate in London, no less, and has had for some time. So it's curious as to why the UK, that shut down Russian oligarchs and froze all their assets within hours of tanks running out of Russia into Ukraine, didn't do the same for the mullahs that are holding all kinds of hundreds of millions of dollars of real estate. Now this guy is the prospective leader. So where is this special relationship? You won't even let us use our bases. We need to examine that. That's a big deal.
How did he get all this real estate? What the hell's that all about? He's supposed to be a cleric. He's supposed to be basically a Muslim priest.
Yeah, just a simple man, except for when a United States president stuffs jets full of cash, flies them to Iran, and invests in all proxy terror states, including terror states that have hurt this country very badly, and then takes these guys, makes them rich, and puts them in line with the City of London globalists and all of the other fancy people breathing fancy air. That's how criminality worldwide works. That's why the globalists bet on both sides of every war.
How about that one? Wow. And he did it with Obama cash. Look,
which means your cash, which means your cash.
Yeah, our money. Going forward here, President Trump has done his part. You know, he got elected. He faced insurmountable odds, and he surmounted them. I feel like sometimes we count on President Trump to do too much. We're not picking up the slack ourselves. There's stuff that people can do. You know, he hasn't moved fast enough on the prosecutions. Well, he has a recalcitrant FBI and DOJ to this day. I guess I'm worried about him. I'm worried about midterms. I'm worried that as spectacular as his rise in governance has been, you know, there's life after Trump. And I don't see anybody who carries that kind of, I don't know, tenacity, anything close to Trump. And I feel like we're at a point where the deep state will ultimately win. I'm usually not like this. I feel this way right now. Please talk me out of it.
Okay, I'm going to do that because you're not alone. A lot of people are feeling this way. We understand that if something very large in accountability doesn't happen by July 15th and the status quo remains, we're in very perilous straits. That's for sure. But I do feel, and I am hearing from different sources, that there are significant changes coming and revelations about what our government has been up to for years. But to your point, there is a thing called Trump derangement syndrome, never Trump, hate Trump, whatever. There's another malady called TCS, Trump complacency syndrome. Ooh. And that gets to we, the people. We've got to pick up the mantle. So, yes, not everybody on President Trump's team is actually with President Trump. So if you want to look out around and you don't like the way Maha's going, get on it. Complain about it. You don't like chemtrails, get on it. Go to the EPA. You don't like what's going on in your TSA system. Hold the people accountable. These are not holy people. These are flawed people. President Trump's got a great strategy, but he is going to need our help. Now, I understand out of the Iran fracas that the base is on a bad morale run right now. I didn't vote for this, that type of garbage. You watch. We get a little bit of accountability. You watch MAGA and America First snap back in line so fast it'll make your head spin. But even so, that war over the horizon is not about this stuff. That war over the horizon is technological oligarchs, central bank digital currency, social credit scores, outright throwing away of the Fourth Amendment so that we can have a surveillance state. And don't think for 5 seconds that these little creeps don't want that. They do. America, take the fight. And, you know, President Trump could use a hand here.
Wow, that's amazing. Wait a second. 2 things. Did you call it? We got Trump derangement syndrome, TDS. What's the other thing called?
TCS, Trump complacency syndrome. No, one man is not going to solve all our problems. We got to jump in.
That's amazing. And also, you said July 15th is the critical date. Why July 15th?
Because by that time, the press and all other facets of American society will be looking straight down the barrel of the midterms. Anything that's done to hold anybody to account will be seen as a political weapon used to just defeat political opposition. It'll water down the seriousness of the crimes that we have seen, from COVID to Jan 6th to every other thing you can think of, including lawfare and even Tina Peters being locked up. So, no, America's got to stand up, and our president is doing that. I do understand that we are going to see some very interesting things in the days ahead, maybe the next 2 to 3 weeks.
You can write it down. General Blaine Holt, we're so grateful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, to be continued. 800-848-9222. I want to hear from you. You, that's right, you. 800-848-9222. Be right back.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
All right, we are back. 800-848-9222. 800-848-9222. Hey, you know, it's really, really, really creepy, and it's thriving in many parts of the world, and we can't let it take place here, although it is taking place here. Sharia law, the way they treat women who step out of line. I mean, publicly being stoned to death, hanged. This is not like 1,000 years ago. This is this morning. This kind of stuff happens. It is crazy. And I would love it if the feminists, the leftists, actually stood up and, you want to support women. Support the women of Iran, Afghanistan. You know what they're doing now? Now that the Taliban is in charge there? Some children, they're having their organs, perfectly healthy organs, removed, and they're selling them just to survive. The organized rape of women, it's really horrific stuff. Ugh, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Yes, Anthony, hello.
Yes, yes. I want to entertain the soldiers, and I want to entertain you on my old-time westerns every Saturday on Twitch, Going Ape TV Radio.
All right, thanks. You think that's gonna entertain the soldiers over there in the Middle East? What do you do? What do you do on your Twitch show?
I do old-time radio shows.
You do Amos and Andy?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. We'll be sure to tune in. E. Frank in Astoria. Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon, Greg.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. I have an Islamic friend who helped me get baptized with Monsignor Joe Pish years ago at my parish in St. Margaret Mary Parish Center. But she's good friends with Mayor Zoran Mandani. But I have to agree with many people. This guy has to go because he is incompetent. He's not selling anything to real, honest, tax-paying citizens of this city. And with this war in Iran, I mean, this guy must be ulteriorly enjoying what's going on because I don't want to insult him, but I assume
why not? That's the least we can do is insult the guy because we can't get him out of office. I mean, you say he's got to go. Well, eventually he's there. He's the mayor. I don't know what else to do other than insult him. I mean, we can subject him to ridicule. In fact, it's our duty. I don't know what. Yeah, I agree with you on all those things, but what you say he's got to go. How do you intend to do that?
Well, I assume my assumption, and I respect your opinions, Gregory, but I have to assume that he eventually will become hated throughout the country as an Islamic mayor that really has no agenda. He's lying to the public, and he is working worse than our former mayor Eric Adams. I assume that someone's going to ridicule him to a point, maybe next year.
Look, the thing is, the left, they love this crap. All right, the left is eating it up. All right, and you say Islam, no, you got to say the extremism of Islam. That's the stuff that I can't stand, right? And he seems to be down with it. I get that sense, and his words suggest as much. But there ain't anything we can, we got to suck it up. We got to find a good Republican, not some jerk who, is a clown, dresses funny for attention, and then gets 7% of the vote after promising everybody that he was going to be a serious person. Instead, all he wanted to do was play with dogs and cats. Thank you. Stephen, hello.
Am I on the air?
Yes. Uh-oh. Usually when somebody, am I on the air? Good. And then they'll say a curse word.
I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous. I need airtime.
Relax.
I'm in Prescott, Arizona.
Uh-huh. You mean Prescott?
Prescott. Yeah, they say Prescott. I'm from Connecticut. Listen, I exposed a secret crime in town. It involves Franklin Delano Roosevelt was our judge, and they're trying to keep it a secret. I exposed everything, underground tunnels, buried slaves. They lit the Great Fire. It's in history, and my life's in danger. I'm being threatened by important people and the Arizona government, and I'm trying to call outside of Arizona. I am dead serious. I believe in Jesus Christ, and they blew up the slaves in tunnels underground to get rid of them. There's a slavery.
Hey, let me ask you something. When you said FDR, is this the 34th president, the 33rd, whatever he was, the 32nd, I think. You're talking about that guy?
Franklin Delano Roosevelt. unknown history. That's why I'm in so much danger.
All right. Well, why would you be in danger of doing stuff about him? I mean, if you want to write a book about his history, write a book about his history. I mean, why would anybody hassle you over that?
Unsolved crime that they want to solve. The town will kill you. It's a known thing if you try and talk about him. He was our judge. I have photographs of his picture on the wall.
You mean,
he had a private
all right,
bar.
relax. This is America. You're allowed to say this stuff. All right? You're allowed, document it. I mean, I don't understand why you think you are, this close to getting whacked.
Tell me and walk up to me and send people to my house to say, don't you know you're going to be eliminated? They've killed people before. I'm doing this for 4 or 5 years, bro, investigating this horrible fire. It's called the Great Fire.
And when was this Great Fire?
1920.
I mean, now you gotta give me a break. People care about something that happened in 1920 and they're telling you to keep your mouth shut?
They just they're digging up the Tampa Stadium for 10 men who were buried in this old cemetery, and they built it on top of it. That just happened today. I've got maybe 1,000 dead slaves buried in a horrible Klan town, and lots of other murders, terrible things.
Yeah, but from a century ago, a lot of bad things happened a century ago. I don't know. What do you want me to do about any of this stuff?
If they're looking for 10 men or some black men in Black Wall Street, and they want to find those guys, and people want to know, and it's a big story. This is the biggest story ever.
Nah, it doesn't sound that big to me, actually, to be honest. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I mean, what do you want me to do? What do you want to do? I mean, you sound like you're afraid. I don't know what the hell's going on. Most people are not talking about stuff from 1920. So what's the bottom line?
I got this story. I have no way to do podcast.
You want me to do the work for you?
No. Paradigm Industries. It's a company that does stories like this.
All right. Well, go reach out. Have you talked to them?
No, I have no equipment. I have no.
Give me a break. Yeah, you see, you told you want me to do the work. You want somebody else to do the work. Call Paradigm and pitch it to them. And do me a favor, pal. Relax. All right. Chill out. It's all going to be okay. All right. Just take a deep breath. Debbie, hello. How are you?
Hi there. It's good to talk to you again. And first, I want to thank you for all the wonderful descriptions you made on the Veterans Day parade last November. I loved it. And I have a suggestion. If President Trump can get rid of Mayor Mondami and tell him, you're fired, get out of here. That would be cool.
That would be cool, Debbie. That would be cool. But they're like friendly. You saw that. They're friendly. Look, unfortunately, that can't happen. All right. He's the mayor. They voted him in. And, unless he breaks the law or something like that. But, we can beat him fair and square with better ideas. I believe that. And we're watching him like a hawk, Debbie. OK, you keep the faith. I can't take Bridget. I can't take Rachel. I can't take you. I'm sorry. I got to run. There's the music. All right. Should we do a catchphrase for this show? Fox says fair, balanced, and unafraid. Although I happen to know that there are a bunch of fraidy cats over there, and they're always figuring out, yes, they are. Oh, they are fraidy cats. I don't know. What the hell do I say? Whatever. We'll talk soon.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?